of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, inner satsang and outer satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is an inner satsang where we meditate in silence. Group session. These practice sessions are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these practice sessions, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you will receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. It is my pleasure to introduce an individual whose journey with our organization spans from childhood to her early 20s. She is the eldest daughter of Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji, and as a dedicated member, she has actively participated in satsangs both in the United States and India. Her unique experiences and insights acquired from her involvement with Ram Ashram Satsang make her an invaluable asset to our community. Today, as she joins us, she embodies the spirit and commitment and growth of our organization. Let's give a warm welcome to Ms. Parul Kumar.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Eddie. Always good to see you. And thank you everyone for showing up today for your meditation. Hopefully it'll be something that cleanses our day and changes the energy of the evening. So I'm just filling in for my dad today. And the topic I wanted to bring up was the energy of love and pure presence. And to me, that's a place of softness and calm and peace. And so when we're coming together to meditate and through our intention of being in the energy of love, we really get to purify our hearts and our souls through this process. And sometimes, we get to have those amazing experiences where it's very, amplified how much we can feel the bliss and the joy and the peace and the happiness. And then other times there are real truths that get revealed to us through meditation and especially through this process. And so when we are going through our meditations, and a lot of times this is a question that comes up for my dad, where it's to my dad, where people are asking about the monkey mind and a lot of thoughts. And actually in that space of meditation where we get to see what's coming up in our lives, but not from the way of experiencing it. We get to kind of take a step back in meditation and allow things to come up. And then we get to be the observer of those things. And then lovingly, we get to let go of those things. But when those things come up, it's a chance for us to kind of detach from our, regular identity and just see what's happening in our life and then let it go, transmute it into the light, and then kind of come back to your own meditation, to the silence and to the light. So that process of purification in your life can really bring up a lot of stuff. And at first, when you're meditating and all those things are coming up, it shouldn't be something that really deters you, but should actually be something that, enlightens you in certain ways of, oh, this is how I've been operating in this relationship, or, that's how I've been feeling at work because of this, because you get to see that, you know, you get to see these events happening without that attachment to them, or, the triggering of being in the experience itself. You get to kind of take a step back and experience these things, but in the form of the observer, like I said before. So when you let them go and you transmute these experiences into the light, we kind of get to clarify what's going on in our lives, in our minds, in our subconscious minds, no matter what's coming up. And then, through this process, through dedication and discipline and commitment, eventually you get to those places where you reach like the higher mind, what my dad calls the higher mind, which is higher states of consciousness that go beyond this world, beyond the body. And you really tap into the soul world rather than, the physical world. So when you go into that, that's what my dad calls the thought-free state, where you really get to experience peace and bliss and love and almost this euphoric feeling, right? So, you know, through the meditation, what comes up during the meditation can be a real indicator of what needs to shift in our lives. So that's what I really wanted to bring up today, is to, look at those things after meditation and be like, oh yeah, like this came up about how I've been acting in a certain relationship. And you can shift that energy within your life too, even after meditation is over. So, today I would love if like everyone meditated, and if you do have thoughts coming up, just kind of make a note of going over that after the meditation with yourself and seeing how you can implement and infuse your days coming forward with more kindness, more open communication, more love, and sometimes even more discipline or whatever needs to happen, so that you can even have a better, higher vibration throughout your days. So, based on the things that you've lovingly observed and let go of during your meditation, you can really take that into your daily life and, become the observer in your daily life, implementing things from that observer perspective rather than, the person who's going through it. And with our egos and everything, we can kind of let that go. And our meditation can become kind of a part of our lives that really shifts our energy throughout the days. So, on that note, I was thinking we can hop into the meditation, and then afterwards, I would love if Eddie could just give us a closing note, something to talk about. And since we have a tight knit group today, I would love to interact and, see, we can talk about the meditation and how we're feeling. So, if we're ready, we can start the meditation. So, this is the process. We're going to go into about 30 minutes, 40 minutes of meditation. What I want everyone to do is to just visualize a bright light, bright golden light in front of you. See it entering your heart space, and then have it go throughout your entire body. Immerse yourself in this light. You can even, especially focusing on the heart, it goes through the heart all over the body, immerses your entire body. And then you can even see that energy from your heart going out into your aura, maybe 20 feet all around your body, or like how many ever feet you want it to go. And yeah, just sit in this light, and then we will have our prayer playing, which just started. And then we will go into silent meditation, followed by the music bringing us back out of meditation. And then we will have our closing note. So we can get started. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. And I was thinking it would be nice if, Eddie, you could just give us a closing note, maybe on anything that came up for you. And then if anyone wants to interact or leave us a note on how it went for you, please do.
Okay, thank you, Parul. Today, Parul talked about receiving messages, if you will, from our subconscious mind to our conscious mind when we transition into meditation. And this is a very real thing. As we all know, our subconscious mind is connected to, the creator's mind, the mind of God. So it knows things that are not aware, that our conscious minds are not aware of. So how does it speak to us? It speaks to us when we uh, wake up in the morning, and we're transitioning from our state of dream to this conscious world. We can receive messages or thoughts or urgings from our subconscious mind. And it also speaks to our conscious mind when we quiet our mind and we start to move into meditation. And as Paro said, though, we want to put those aside during our meditation and just focus on the light entering into our heart. But nonetheless, these things will happen. Um, when you quiet your mind, um, this happens a lot. When people are thinking about you, um, and they're concentrating their energies on you, you receive messages from them, and they may even be able to communicate directly with you by sending these messages out into the atmosphere. And the time at which you receive those is when you quiet your mind. And so that's why, um, when you quiet your mind, you get this inrush of thoughts, and some of those could be, messages from other people and so forth and so on. And that's, what we term mental telepathy. It's not a practice that we should do, but it doesn't dismiss the fact that someone else can send these thoughts to you, and you receive them. And so you should, during meditation, you should just put those aside and then deal with the meditation and worry about those after. But yeah, these are very real things. When we start to increase our consciousness, as Parallel said, we experience love, we experience peace. But this term love is more than what most people think of. It's knowledge. You can say it's knowledge, it's peace, and in that, it really truly is knowing. And when we say knowing, you see things that our conscious mind does not see, which is knowing. And so, you're aware of small particles of matter that you're not able to comprehend with your conscious mind. You're able to perhaps see auras and all of these things because that's part of knowledge. It's a spiritual sight, but it's still part of knowledge. And so when we say love, love means knowledge, love means peace, knowledge means spiritual sight. So so I just wanted to make mention of that. But it's just as Powell said, when we meditate, we put those things aside and then we can deal with them later. But just to make aware, don't be afraid of these things. They will happen. Don't focus on developing mental telepathy and all those things, those kinds of powers, but it will happen. But just be aware of it. That's kind of all I wanted to say. Thank you again, Paro, for the message you gave us today.
Yeah, such good points. Yeah, it's always interesting when, you think of someone and then they text you or call you in that next second, right? It's like, were you thinking of me or was I thinking of you? But yeah, it's so interesting as you're like meditating, like interesting things come up. But yeah, I really wanted to bring up that point. And you're so right. It's the subconscious mind that's kind of revealing truths to us. Yeah. So if anyone has a note, feel free to come on and chat with us, or it was amazing seeing you guys, and we're so glad you joined us. And my dad will definitely be back on Saturday. Yeah, I think on that note, we'll just wrap up. Thanks again, guys, for being here, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you, Portal.
Yeah,
Thank you, Carl. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
good night, everyone.
Right.
Namaste.
Namaste.